Hi, my name is Coach Aaron. I'm coach of the seven-year-old division with Langley Little League, and we're just going to be showing you guys some drills that you can do at home with your kids. Specifically today, we'll be focusing on some throwing drills. So there's a whole bunch of stuff to throwing, and we'll show you a few drills here on how to get that proper arm action. But what's really important here is that the kids really understand how to hold this ball, how to grip this baseball. If they have a bad grip, they can have the best arm action in the world, and they're really going to struggle. The biggest problem for kids this age, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds even, is just the size of their hands. So ideally here, to hold a baseball, we want to have a 2-finger grip across the seam, so it looks like that. So we want some fingers across the seam. We do not want this ball too far in our hands or too far out to our fingertips. Now the problem is these kids' hands are very small, and to ask them to throw with 2 fingers is almost impossible. So at this young age, I have no problem with having them throw with a 3-fingered grip. The important thing is we want to get that ball out of the palm of their hand and off or close to their fingertips, not too far out. We don't want them throwing and palming the baseball. It's almost impossible to get proper arm action if they're palming the baseball. And even if they have that 3-finger grip, we want to make sure it's not too deep in their hands. So out on their fingers, okay? Ideally, if you see the ball is not even in the palm of my hand, it's all on my fingers. Now, with the size of their hand, you might get that ball creeping into their palm a little bit. That's okay, but we just really want them to focus on not palming it and not squeezing the baseball too hard. So the first drill that we always do when it comes to the throwing portion of the practice or the training session is what I call a snap drill. The snap drill is something that we do on their knees, and it really just helps them get in their brain that when we throw the baseball, we can't throw it with a locked out wrist. So we put them down on their knee, and we put the glove up about their shoulder and elbow resting on the glove, and all they're doing here is just snapping the baseball, okay? Really snapping the baseball. We don't want a whole bunch of arm action, just a quick snap of it. Okay, bud, up. Give me a snap. Good. Roll it back to him. Snap it hard. Attaboy. Okay, so once we've done the snap drill, then the next drill we're going to move into is just throwing from the knees. So we're going to put them down on their knee. Same thing as the snap drill. One thing here is just remember, if they're a right-handed thrower, it's the right knee that goes down. Obviously the opposite if they're a left-handed thrower. That front leg, the leg that's up, we just want the toe pointed in the direction they're throwing. And from here, all they're going to do is they're just going to take the baseball out of their glove and they're just going to throw from the knees. Okay? Again, circles, circles, circles. So when this ball comes out of the glove, we always want to think about never stopping it. We don't want it to be stopped and pulled. We want it to come out of the glove and a nice, fast circle with the baseball. Making a circle, making a circle. The farther the distance, the bigger the circle. The shorter the distance, the shorter the circle. So it's from the glove, and it's just... Okay, bud, go ahead. Good. Short, fast circles, and really snapping that wrist. Okay, so the third sequence of drills that we want to do when it comes to throwing, we've done the snap drill, we've done the knee throws, and now it's time to get them up on their feet. Again, this causes some problems at this young age just because they're still trying to figure out their coordination. And a lot of times if their feet get into a bad position, the problems kind of go uphill. So if their feet are in a bad position, it's inevitably going to affect their arm action. A lot of times what we'll see is the kids will get the baseball and they'll go to throw, and that front foot will come flying open, which causes the top shoulder, that front shoulder to come flying open, and we end up with this type of throwing action, which is obviously not what we want. We really want to make sure that front half is always closed off to our target. So when I say closed off, we want it closed off until that point, that last point possible where that baseball is going to come flying right about our ear, and then we can start opening it. The young kids really come flying open way too early, and it really slows their arm down. So something I like to do, can of spray paint, I just spray painted a straight line in the grass. If you don't feel like spray painting your own lawn, I get it, you can put a piece of string down. If you're around a field where there's some gravel or sand, you can just draw a line in the sand. What I get them to do, at this age, we're not too focused on a whole bunch of movement and momentum stuff through the baseball. We will get to that, but first we got to have them be able to throw and keep their feet underneath them. So I tell them, toes on the line, ball in the glove. We get into a nice aggressive stance in our legs. I tell them that elbow, their glove elbow, they're gonna point it right at their target, okay? And then it's just a little bit of a load, stride, and a throw. Okay, so we have player on the line here. He's gonna get his toes on the line. Here's your ball, okay? Point your elbow at the target. Remember, bud? Little load, stride, and throw that thing hard. So once they've come off the line here and they're starting to get some confidence with it, we can put a little drill together that actually involves how we go from a catching position to a throwing position. We'll be putting out a catching video next week, but for now, we'll just show you this quickly. This is called a T drill. So if you see, I've just basically spray painted a T in the grass. Same thing, if you're on the dirt, you can just draw a T. And this is a very simple drill. We call this the catching line. We call this the throwing line. So we tell them on the catching line, they're gonna get their toes in the catching line, they're gonna receive the baseball, catch the baseball, just like they always would. And then from here, we really want them to understand that in order to throw, we can't just catch and throw, we have to get on the throwing line. So they're gonna get a baseball, they're gonna catch it, and we're gonna quickly get on the throwing line, load, stride, throw, just like we did on that single line. So catching line, catch the baseball, quickly onto the throwing line, and then we get them throw. Get on that throwing line, quick, throw it hard. Good, back on the catching line, one more. Quick, quick, quick on the throwing line. Good job. All right, everyone, I hope you found some value in those throwing drills. And again, we don't have to overdo this 2 or 3 times a week, and you'll see a huge mark of improvement. Stay tuned next week. I'll give you a whole bunch of drills on some catching stuff, and we'll start putting this together as the weeks go on. And hope to see you guys soon. Thanks.